coming up on Dig It.
I did hear that Disco Steve was recognised the other night at your gig in Brighton. Somebody went up and went, "Oh, you Disco Steve."
Oh my God. We achieved such a great leaving party for the most incredible son, brother and friend. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm gone.
Here we go.
Oh, Helen, the freaking wreck. You've been together for 6 months and it takes you 3 months to cheat on her.
The
I think you
flags.
deserve her back. Yeah.
Is that too long to ask for someone to just
Keep it in your pants. All of that right after this.
This episode of Dig It is sponsored by Sofology.
So what makes a good sofa for you?
Oh, good sofa. It's got to be massive. There's a load of us. And it's got to be nice and deep and seriously comfortable.
I always agonise over the fabric and the colour as well, because it's like the centrepiece of your home. It's one of the most important decisions that you make when you're coming to decorate a room, I think. You don't just sit on it, you live on it. I mean, we do. You eat on it. I mean, not actually, but you talk on it, you watch telly on it, you fall asleep on it quite often. It's like a member of the family.
It really is. I think people can rush it. I'm guilty of that. They panic buy a sofa because they need one quickly. And then 6 months later, you're sitting there thinking, this is actually really not very comfortable. What have we done? I recently got a sofa from Sofology, and they are very pro being fussy because they know what a huge decision it is. They actually encourage it. They want you to find the sofa that works for your space, your life and your style. I started my search on their website and then I went into the store around here in Hove. Absolutely no pressure, no one chasing me around. They're Sofologists. Love that as a name, are there if you want help. And they really know what they're talking about. Sizes, fabrics, shapes, big family sofas, all of it. They know it all.
That sounds very good indeed, because the sofa it's like a centrepiece of your home. So it's worth taking your time and getting it right. Which one did you end up getting?
I got the Cricket 2-seater in like a wine claret colour, really rich. Cannot wait for it to arrive.
It sounds lovely. If you're thinking about changing your sofa or you've just moved and you're ready for an upgrade, take a look. Visit Sofology in store or online and find your local store at sofology.co.uk.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Zoe. You're wearing such a nice blue T-shirt, but I can't see the words on it.
It says, nobody does... I won't sing. It says, nobody does it better. One of the greatest Bond themes of all time, Carly Simon. But I am actually wearing this for everybody who has taken part in the Winter Olympics. No matter, obviously, Team GB, I have loved so many of them, but I just want to say to all the athletes who have taken part in the Winter Olympics, thank you for the joy that you have brought into our lives over the last couple of weeks. I have been fully immersed. I have loved every minute of it. And isn't it wonderful to see so many incredible humans from across the world, you know, who have trained so hard. Their families have given up so much to help them in the sports they're in, and they have entertained us. And it's made me feel so joyous. So I'm wearing this for them.
It's just been amazing to watch the human body and the human spirit, people just striving to do things that you should not be able to do, but they have gone for it and then some. And I am particularly enjoying those people who come in and they come in last and they punch the air and they are so delighted to have been at the Winter Olympics. They're like, I've done it. I've been here, to not have the pressure of coming first or second or third or whatever. But they are just so delighted to have achieved that, to be an Olympic athlete. That has made my heart sing more than anything.
I must particularly mention Jax Jeffries, who's a biathlete. And he'd had one of his skis had not gone brilliantly and he seemed so deflated, and then he still had the sprint to do. But do you know what? When Team GB walked out on the opening ceremony, he was there and he's been so brilliant on the socials. And he's an amazing chap. And I just wanted to shout him out for bringing the vibes. And he's just been fabulous. And that's the thing. And lots of people commenting, doesn't matter how you've done, you're an Olympian. You are forever an Olympian. And there's not many of us that can say that.
Speaking of the biathletes that have been amazing us, do we go there? Do we mention the guy who won his medal and then confessed to having had an affair? He'd been with a girl for 6 months. After 3 months, he cheated on her, and he thought what he'd do in his post-medal interview was confess his undying love to her and say that he just wanted to win her back. He wanted her heart back, and he just wanted to confess to the world, and just proceeded to just cry throughout the entire interview. I'm not sure that is going to win her back. I'm really not convinced, because I mean, you've been together for 6 months and it takes you 3 months to cheat on her.
The
I think you
flags.
deserve her back. Yeah.
No, I mean, 3 months, is that too long to ask for someone to just keep
it in your pants?
You can't really love someone, can you, if you're willing to do that? I mean, he's only young, he's 28, so I guess, but if you want to live your life and be free. But if you can't be faithful for 3 months, there's not much hope. Seriously, the flag's there. I mean, the fact that he cheated after 3 months, then he wants to talk about it in public. I don't know. But I mean, if that was you, would you take him back? No.
I think also there's a thing about keeping your private life and your professional life separate, right? We all have things going on in our private lives that when you come to do your job, you put a lid on it and you just get on and you do the job. You don't use the world's media to then confess that you've cheated on somebody and try and win her back. It's not dignified. It's not going to work more than anything in the world. I think just hold it together and then, just call her, text her, or just accept that it's over.
Can I just put my hand up here and say, obviously, lots of people know about things that have gone on in my life, so I am no saint and I've not always behaved
None of us are
particularly brilliantly. But, it's... So I'm now really judgy. Who the hell am I to be so judgy? I feel really bad.
So let's not be sanctimonious. Let's just say that.
The thing is, we don't know what it's like to win a medal. If you win a medal, maybe you're just overcome with emotion because it's such an incredible thing to have achieved. And maybe that's the point where you're like, and I just want to say... Yeah, who knows? God knows what we'd confess to.
Oh, my God.
If you're loving Dig It, please hit follow or subscribe wherever you watch or listen. That way you get new episodes delivered directly and you'll never miss a moment.
We've had a text from Bethany, which I would like to read out if that's okay. Bethany says, there's been so much in the news about men behaving terribly. Yes, there has. Sometimes it does make me feel a bit worried, especially because I'm raising a young son.
Yeah.
I was genuinely delighted to see something really wholesome on Instagram. A guy I follow, Matthew Lewis Carter, shared a post about a pints and ponytails evening that he organised with his dad mates. It's a group of dads with daughters of all different ages meeting up in a pub to learn how to do proper ponytails for their girls.
Wow.
I know. Huge shout out to the Braid Maidens who ran it. The video is so sweet, it's funny and it's full of love and it honestly made my day and felt totally worth sharing. How cute is that? Should we see it?
So there's loads of dads with girls' world type modelling heads.
All different models. And they're being taught how to do pigtails.
Oh,
and French
wow. And French plaits. And then teaching them how to do an easy bun. This is so wonderful.
God, if you're a single dad and you've never done anything like this in your life, of course you've got to learn somewhere. What an amazing idea. I've never learned how to do a French plait and I really wish someone had taught me once. I've always felt I've let Coco down by not being able to do that.
Yeah, I've never been able to do anything like that. And I had a girl's world, but I was such a tomboy that I never really had long hair when I was young. I always had sort of short hair and my leg hair was probably more plaitable than my head hair. But I've never learnt to do that. But Bethany, thanks for pointing that out. And if ever diggers see things that just make you feel happy about the world, because you're right, we're surrounded by such sort of horror at the moment where you look and think, oh, you do worry for your kids growing up in this world with everything that's going on around us. And it's wonderful to be reminded of joyous, lovely things. And I love the fact that those dads are all getting together as well, so they can chat about all sorts of things when they're together.
In that film that we just played out, there was a little moment where the dads shook hands. It was almost like a fist bump. Yeah, check out my French plait. Check out my braid.
Bethany, thank you so much for sharing that joy. Well done, lads. Really impressed with those ponytails. We have a voice note from Reece.
Reece from Edinburgh here. Thank you both so much for your podcast. I really love your chat and advice and all the laughs. I don't actually think I've missed an episode since you started last summer.
Thank you, Reece.
But back in early 2024, I found a lump and was diagnosed with breast cancer. And since then, I've had 4 surgeries, chemotherapy and radiotherapy. And I now have a hormone treatment for a few years and a targeted therapy for 2 years. But I'm doing good, and I'm so grateful for the amazing care I've had, for all the love and support from my family, my husband, my mum, my children, and my fabulous friends. But I know I'm really lucky to have them around, and so to try and give something back, I applied to join CoppaFeel's fundraising trek this year, And I can't believe it, but I actually got a place. And in September, I will walk 100 kilometres of the Great Wall of China with Giovanna Fletcher and around 120 other trekkers. And we're all aiming to raise at least £4,000 each. And I just wondered if you and the diggers might have any great fundraising ideas to share. I have a few plans. I've got a wine tasting evening with a sommelier friend and a pub quiz with our local version of Disco Steve, and a raffle. Some really generous restaurants and local businesses have already donated me a few prizes. But I'd love to hear if you have any other ideas to help me and the other trekkers too. And together, all the trekkers have raised about £100,000 so far, but we're aiming for 500,000. So thank you for any ideas you have. Big love to you both, and everyone remember to check your chests.
Yes.
Bye.
Reece, it's so good to hear that you're doing great, and well done you getting on the CoppaFeel trek. I see the footage of that each year and people's messages from doing it, and I just think what an amazing expedition the wonderful Giovanna Fletcher has created there. This collection of wonderful women who've all experienced all sorts of things, getting together and having a once in a lifetime incredible trip, and also raising loads of money. It's amazing. Reece, you're going to have such an incredible time. But it sounds like she's doing brilliantly on the fundraising.
I don't know, Reece, whether you need our advice at all, because you're obviously incredibly ingenious. I mean, the amount of things that you've already organised, and you've contacted us, so now we're raising awareness and people can contribute and try and get you to that 500,000 mark just by contacting us on Dig It. So, I'm also so impressed, Reece, by your upbeat attitude and the gratitude that you show, and you're just so unbelievably positive, like mentioning all the support you have all around you, and dwelling on the positive instead of the negative. So absolute respect for you, and thank you for listening to the podcast. I'm glad it kind of brings you a bit of a diversion in your day. I don't know, I remember doing a sponsored dance when I was a kid at school. That's the only thing I can think of doing.
We did Whiley, a sponsored... What was your style?
Disco dance. My mum was massive into when it came to charity raising, because of my system. We were always doing kind of fundraising for toy libraries and various different clubs. So we did a disco dance, and we danced for 12 hours with me and my friends. It was really fun.
What were you wearing when you were doing this disco dance? I'm just trying to think of the era. Were you in a rah-rah skirt? Did you have high bunches?
Oh my God, I never wore a rah-rah skirt in my life. No, it would probably have been a tank top, I think. Probably a tank top and then a short kind of skirt and some sensible shoes. I was always like you. I was really tomboyish. I never really wore anything particularly girly.
But you danced for 12 hours.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really, really fun.
That's really impressive. That's something I'd quite like to do, dance for 12 hours. I'm not sure if my legs can take it anymore.
Yeah, an auction, maybe, Reece. I'm sure I've got something I can give you for an auction, like some kind of a disc. So I will do that for you to contribute. But I think auctions are really good. There are lots of people who have so much stuff to give away, and people are very kind-hearted and very keen to support people who are doing something for a good cause. So maybe that. Did you say you were already doing a raffle? I'm not sure, but maybe I can start that one, or I can contribute.
And I love that they have their very own version of Disco Steve, and they're going to do a quiz night. I did hear that Disco Steve was recognised the other night at your gig in Brighton. Somebody went up and went, "Oh, you Disco Steve?"
It's because he's got this shock of silver hair. Who does he look like? Just kind of silver fox. I mean, it's really lovely because he's still got long hair, which is wonderful. But he really stands out. I was DJing when I did this gig in Bristol, and all I could see was this shock of hair. And then people just kept floating over to him and talking to him and just going, "Oh, you're Disco Steve." And then talking about how much they love Dig It, which was great. Really good to know.
That's so encouraging. If anyone has any great fundraising ideas that Reece hasn't already covered, I mean, she's walking the Great Wall of China. She's doing quiz nights. She's doing all sorts there. If anyone else has got any ideas, I've always loved the idea of doing the sort of London to Paris bike ride, because my brother and I really wanted to raise some money for the hospice that helped my mum, because obviously, the hospices are run completely on charity, and helping people at the end of life is so important, helping families. So we did a little quiz show that our winnings will go to them, which we're really excited about. But yeah, if anyone else has got any good fundraising ideas, for Reece, even though she's totally got it covered. And do let us know how you get on when you go and do the CoppaFeel trek.
Send us photos. We want photos. We'll post them to everybody else.
You're going to meet some amazing people, Reece, and you take care. And I hope everything keeps going your way, gorgeous girl. Well done, you.
Today on Dig It, we're partnering with Saily.
Jo Whiley, do you have any idea what an eSIM is?
Actually, Zoe Ball, I do. An eSIM is basically a digital SIM card that you might use when travelling. So no fiddly bits of plastic and no losing your main SIM in a hotel room. You just download it straight to your phone. Saily is a great example of a mobile app for travellers that provides an eSIM.
So if you're travelling abroad, instead of getting absolutely rinsed by roaming charges, you can download the Saily app, choose your destination, buy a data plan, and that's it. You land and you're connected.
Correct. It's as simple as that, which is a massive relief because there is nothing worse than landing somewhere new, trying to order a taxi, message somebody, check a map, and your phone just says no.
Nightmare. So Saily works in over 200 destinations and it's designed to save you money by massively reducing or even completely avoiding roaming fees.
And it's not just about data. It also has built-in security features. You can protect your privacy, block dodgy ads, and even change your virtual location. It's brought to you by the people behind NordVPN, so they know what they're doing when it comes to online safety.
So if you're travelling soon, download Saily in the App Store or by scanning the QR code on screen if you're watching us. Use code DIGIT, that's DIGIT, at checkout to get 15% off your first purchase.
That's code DIGIT at checkout to get 15% off your first purchase. And you can also find all the details in the show notes. Dig It is sponsored by Stripe and Stare.
Can I say, Jo, I think comfort has become my number one priority with clothes now, especially underwear.
Hell yeah. I mean, life is simply too short to be uncomfortable. There are items in my wardrobe. I think maybe there's one thong and maybe there's a couple of crop tops like bralettes, which I really like, that are quite tight because I like to be compressed if I've got a t-shirt on. But on the days when I don't need to wear those, I just want to hang loose and I want to have a really nice soft fabric. And that is my ultimate dream bit of underwear.
That's why I love Stripe and Stare so much. Their knickers are unbelievably comfortable. They're soft, they're breathable, really kind to your skin.
Yeah, they're made from natural fibres. There are no nasty chemicals. And I think you really notice the difference straight away.
And I love that they don't just stop at knickers. Their bralettes are brilliant, no underwire, no digging in. And their sleepwear is so comfy, you won't want to take it off in the morning.
Honestly, once you start wearing them, they just slowly take over your drawer.
They do, and they do them in lovely colours. It feels like one of those small upgrades that makes a huge difference to your day.
Yeah, and also Stripe and Stare are a female-led B Corp, which is something I really love supporting.
If you want to try them, visit stripeandstare.com and use the code DIGIT20, that's DIGIT 20, for 20% off.
That's stripeandstare.com and the code is DIGIT20 for 20% off. As ever, you have been in touch. We really, really love hearing your voices. When you send our voice notes, then it's just lovely to hear from you and share with the rest of the world. So we'll kick off now with Kate, who's been in touch.
Hello, ladies. Oh, I love your podcast. I really do. I'm listening to the one where you're asking about tote bags. And I think you should use the skulls from Jo's wallpaper. Not only is that mega cool, but it's quite striking and will absolutely stand out. I also think, and I'm looking at it now, I went to a wellbeing event for Bristol Menopause Clinic last week, which was fantastic. And in the little goodie bag that they gave me, I've got some Yes VM pH matched vaginal moisturiser. Do you know what? I think I'm going to give it a go. Absolutely love the podcast. I actually think I should just come and be part of the team because I fully appreciate everything you say. I'm either on board with it or I understand it or I've been involved in it. And I love everything that you say and do. Keep up the blooming amazing work. Love you, girl.
Oh
yeah.
Kate.
And I'm Kate from Bristol and I'm 48 or 49. I can't remember.
It's just a number, Kate. We don't mind
Who
anymore,
cares?
do we? Oh,
Nah.
Kate, haven't you got the best energy?
That's what I mean about hearing voice notes so that we know, we just get a sense of your character and your personality. That's good moisturiser. That's really good. I know a lot of people recommend it and I've used it. It's the Yes VM moisturiser.
Okay.
So it just kind of keeps everything moist. where you
Fresh.
need it. When it instead of it drying out and kind of itching, then it just keeps it all moist.
I know. I keep meaning to go to my doctor and ask him about the estrogen that goes. Is it progesterone or estrogen?
You take progesterone tablets if you're on HRT, which I am, and I'm have the Lenzetto spray, and then you take progesterone tablets at night, and then vaginal estrogen is like so important and so helpful.
And you do that on top of everything else that you already do, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can just do it. Yeah, I mean, there is so much on Instagram. There are so many amazing people. I think we ought to do a roll call on our Substack at some point of all the different doctors out there who you can follow, or Instagram accounts that will help you on your, as you're going through the menopause and all the things that will help make a difference. But yeah, vaginal estrogen is great. Makes a massive difference. Really important.
And thank you, Kate. Obviously, we're going to be at Crosswires Festival in Sheffield, so we get to meet some of our diggers face to face, because we're kind of meeting a lot of our diggers out and about. People come up all the time and say, love the podcast, have a lovely chat. So it's really lovely to meet. But hopefully we'll do some more events down the line where we can meet even more diggers and get out and about around the country, because it's so wonderful hearing from you, and but also it'd be nice to meet you face to face. If you ever see us out and about, do come say hello.
Yeah.
Loads of you have been getting in touch about changing careers, and we got a voice note from Mark.
Hello, Zoe and Joe. My name's Mark, and I live in Robin Hood's Bay here in North Yorkshire. I was listening to your podcast the other day about changing careers and studying with the RHS, and both of you having your passions for gardens and plants, one which I share. And I used to be an academic for 20 years up in Newcastle, where I lived with my husband, but my heart was never truly in it. I'd always wanted to be a gardener and work with plants. But as a child, I was bullied for it quite a lot. So I went down the academic route. And then in my early 40s, I went part-time, and I decided I've really got to scratch this itch and do some studying with plants. So I enrolled with the RHS at the Royal Botanical Gardens in Edinburgh. And the experience has been life-changing, life-affirming, opened a whole new world. So since qualifying with the RHS, my husband and I have moved from Newcastle to this beautiful coastal village, Robin Hood's Bay in North Yorkshire. Now, I'm not a full-time gardener yet, so I'm not the next Jamie Butterworth, although I met him in September. What a charming man.
Yes,
but I do garden for friends. We've also got a rather large garden, which I've been rediscovering and landscaping. My partner and I now have an Airbnb in Whitby, which we clean together and run together. And I listen to your podcast whenever I'm doing a changeover. And I've opened a little art gallery and studio in Robin Hood's Bay with 3 fantastic women. And I think, although I'm not a full-time gardener, just having the confidence from doing something new, trying something new, has just opened all these new doors and a completely different life to the one that we had in Newcastle. So plants and the RHS and just taking those steps into a new career and a new life in midlife is just incredible. And I would also like to say, I adore your podcast. I think you're both fantastic. And I like listening to all the different topics that you cover. And keep up the good work. And thank you very much.
Oh my God, Mark, I really want to meet you. I really want to meet you and your husband. The happiness in your voice, yeah.
I want to hug you. I want to come and see your art gallery. I want to come and see your friend's garden that you're doing up. And I want to come and stay in the Airbnb. So
if Mark hasn't inspired you, if you're listening right now and you are one of those people who are going, I'm pretty cheesed off and I'm pretty unhappy and I'm not entirely sure, do I take the leap? You just listen to the happiness in Mark's voice, and that hopefully will give you the confidence to do the thing, to follow your heart and do what makes you happy. Like, I mean, how awful that this was what he wanted to do 30 years ago, but there was a certain shame and stigma, and he was bullied for the things that he loved doing. And I think, the attitudes have changed so much now that we are liberated. We can do what the hell we like, whatever we want to do, and nobody will judge us. That's the dream anyway. But I think we're in a much better place now. So Mark, I'm so happy to hear the joy in your voice and to know that you are doing what makes you happy right now.
And very much that thing of, even if it's too much of a risk to give up the job that you do, because the job that you do maybe brings in a good living, to find things that bring you joy. If the job isn't bringing you joy anymore, that you can do outside of that. And if that's doing a few courses, and finding other ways, or volunteering, if it's gardening, seeing if you can volunteer at the garden centre or at a local garden, or volunteering with the local council, or anything you can do that would just, even in your spare time, bring you a bit of knowledge, and bring you some joy on top of the job that you do, because it's not easy for everyone to take that thing of, well, I've got to walk away from the job I do because it's pay, you know, a lot of people, it's paying their mortgage, it's paying their rent. But to know that you could do something like that on the side until you're ready, perhaps, to take that plunge. Mark, what a wonderful message. And also lovely to know that there are men out there listening to our show as well. And thank you, Mark, for putting up with our conversations about vaginal estrogen. But the great thing, Mark, is you'll know all about it with all the girls that you run the art gallery with.
This is what I was just thinking. I was just thinking we obviously are quite female-centred, or we have been just recently, but to hear and know that there are guys who listen to it as well. And we touched on beauty products just the other day in the other podcast, and it'd be really good to reflect men's products as well. So Mark, what do you use? What do you and your husband use? My boys are really big fans of Kiehl's. Their men's products, their men's grooming products are really great, like the face wash and the moisturizers. But we are going to do a beauty look, but we could do with some men's products as well. So if any guys are listening and there are things that you really, really find work for you, let us know, and then we can include that in our beauty roundup.
Can we get Jude, Woody and Disco Steve to be the models so that, you know, we can try out the products on them live
Cass
on
would
the
be the
pod?
model. Cass is the one when it comes to skincare. We'll use Cass. And the other guys, they don't at all. What am I talking about? It's Cass who looks after himself. He can be my model.
Excellent. I love it. I think Woody will just give me that look of, what? Get away from me. Although Woody does have the most incredible eyebrows I've ever seen on a human ever.
We have another message now, and this is from Helen. And this is a discussion about funerals, about how they don't necessarily have to be dark. They can be sad, but also they can be uplifting. She said, I just thought I'd share my story with you. It's 5:30 in the morning and I'm wide awake listening to the pod. And the lady whose mum died feeding the birds made me think. My son Myles passed away in May 2023. Myles died at the age of 35 after a 15-year battle with cancer. Myles loved life. He loved Ibiza and never wanted anyone to feel upset about what he was going through. When my other children and I planned his funeral, we chose to do an Ibiza-style send-off. All Myles' friends, many of them DJs, turned up in a big coach wearing colourful dresses and loud, bright shirts. The service was very emotional, and we had the after-party outside on a beautiful day where his friends took it in turns to do DJ sets and gave Myles a send-off that he would want to be at. The following year, me and 15 of his friends went to Ibiza and took his ashes up to Esvedra, where we scattered the ashes. Oh. Funerals don't need to be dark, black and sombre. I feel so happy that we achieved such a great leaving party. That's a lovely way to put it, for the most incredible son, brother and friend. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm gone.
Here we go.
Oh, Helen.
Myles, he sounds like the most beautiful soul, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The most amazing soul, and to suffer, you know, for 15 years, to battle cancer for 15 years, that's a long time. He was obviously incredibly strong for a long time and surrounded by love.
For such a long time.
And music and all things joyous. So to reflect that in his leaving party, what a great way of putting it.
That was a really good way of putting it. Helen, thank you so much for sharing.
Honestly.
He sounds amazing.
Oh, goodness me. Helen, I'm so sorry for your loss, your beautiful, beautiful boy.
Yes.
But what a way to celebrate him. And I hope you carry on that.
Celebrate him and what he meant to you in your lives.
We can see the footage now of it kicking right off at Myles's his send-off party. I mean, that could be any incredible scene from a club on the terrace at Space, and people are holding up like Myles's name in the air. Everyone's in shirts and shorts. Everybody's smiling. There is so much joy in that footage, which just makes me cry even more. Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah. Oh my God, how much a character he must have been. How loved must he have been?
Oh, Myles, you have the best friends.
That's a long time to have been struggling to battle cancer. 15 years. I cannot imagine.
I think this is a lovely thing as well. When you lose people who are young, it's like, well, you lose anyone really. It's staying close to the people who love them. You know, losing Billy, I've been so lucky to have all his wonderful family and friends stay really close. And it's great seeing, you know, his nieces and nephews just doing so brilliantly at life, and his friends who really, really make me laugh. And, you know, those people that you can be with who just, share that kind of love and essence of someone that you've lost.
It keeps them very much alive.
Yeah, it really, really does. And those relationships that you form through great loss just stay with you and are such a great comfort.
My dad always says that his funeral music is going to be Monty Python, Always Look on the Bright Side of Life. And I've always been like, that's good. I'll be able to keep it together. If that's what's playing in the church, that'll be fine. And then the other day, Disco Steve said, yeah, I've been thinking, I want Joni Mitchell both sides now at my funeral. And I turned to him and I was like, that is not fair. You cannot play the saddest song in the world at your funeral.
Norm's mum had that at her funeral, Roz. And actually, do you know what? You need a song that makes you cry and allows you to cry and prompts you to cry. And I think it's really good at funerals to have that chance to do that, to have a good old weep. But then, like Myles's gang, have a great dance and a sing-along and some laughter so you get the light and shade.
Zoe, why are you so clever and have a box of tissues every time we do this podcast? I need to learn.
I always have them there because everybody, we cry every week. Something happens.
Oh dear, I'm spent. I'm completely emotionally spent now. Thank you.
Freaking wreck.
It's been a nice chat today.
Thank you so much to all our diggers who trust us with the most beautiful and touching stories, but also the silliest things. And we love hearing from you.
Thank you all for showing so much empathy as well with all these stories and you understanding what people are sharing with us and what we're talking about. It's an amazing community. It's an amazing gang that we've built here. I love doing this so much. So yeah,
I know we do.
Thank you. However, I have no more emotion left. I'm completely wrung out. So I think I might have to call it a day here. Is that okay? Even the voice is going.
It is. We've had a good laugh and we've had a good cry.
Yeah.
So, that's what you need in life.
Thanks, diggers.
Thank you, diggers.
Take care. Lots of love.
Love you, Joe.
Bye.
Dig It is a Persophonica production.